So welcome back to another episode of Mana, Decentraland. We're going to talk about and dive into the marketplace in this video. So the reason why I wanted to dive into it is because I just browsed and came across a Reddit article. An estate, which is a piece of land, just got sold for 500,000 mana. And that is great. It means the price in terms of real estate, in terms of mana, is going up, and that is good, obviously, if you are holding some mana. So mana is one of the cryptocurrencies that I'm currently holding. Cryptocurrency is actually a very small portion of my portfolio, extremely small. I wanted to cover it here just to go through the journey of exploring mana with you and how I do research and so on. So in this video, we're going to explore a website called Opensea. We're going to talk about NFT. We're also going to look at some of the items you can buy on the cryptocurrency market and why that is important, where they're at right now, how to think about the future, because you must have been hearing some pieces of news that a lot of things are being sold for a ridiculous amount of money, and what does that really mean for cryptocurrencies going forward? So before we get started, I just want to clarify that when it comes to investing, my vision is really to get 30% a year, and cryptocurrency is just a side project that I'm working on, and it is an extremely small portion of my portfolio. 99% of my portfolio is using the approach of investing accelerator, and if you want to learn more on how I get 30% a year, then go to the link below and get the free 4-hour training. You can watch the free training, and then afterwards you can schedule a free strategy session with me to talk about investing and how you can get a higher return. If you are a good fit, then you can be part of Investing Accelerator. So this month I'm looking to help 20 professionals without a financial background to master investing and target 30% return a year. So if you want to get the free training, then just go down below to where the description is. Click show more, and then below that you'll find one of the first links is the free webinar, how to get 30% from the stock market in the next 12 months. So click on this link, and then afterwards you can read through what you'll get in the webinar, and then you can write down your name and your email address and click watch now. Then you will be brought to the webinar, so then you can start watching it. So in terms of successful case studies from the program, we have Joshua made 55% from Chef in 1 month. John made 110% from ADP in 2.5 months, and Ashel making 103% from Spirit Aerosystem Holdings in 6 weeks. So these are amazing returns. For Ashel's case study, it is especially touching because it is the first time he made 100% after joining Investing Accelerator. So you can pause this video and look at his review. I think it's great that I'm able to help Ashel to achieve financial independence, and going forward he will have a proven strategy to invest in the market with a lot more confidence. So let's dive into the topic today. As of the time I'm recording this video, Decentraland is at $1.10. So that is fantastic. Now obviously I'm a long-term investor. I'm not trying to day trade Decentraland. I'm just gonna hold Decentraland for multiple years and be a very boring investor and just buy and hold. And when it comes to investing in crypto, when it comes to investing in something with a very strong trend, buy and hold is usually a good strategy. Some people are smarter than me. Some people think they can time the market better when it comes to a strong trending stock or cryptocurrency. In that case, then by all means go ahead. But for me, I know I'm a busy guy. I have a full-time job. I'm not gonna sit around and time crypto on a daily basis. So I just like to watch my portfolio grow and do nothing day after day and making some YouTube video for you guys. Buy and hold is the strategy. So just in case you wonder how I trade crypto, because I actually don't trade it at all. I came across this website which is called Opensea, because I was wondering how to buy and sell stuff, and apparently this is the largest NFT marketplace to buy digital items. So that is actually quite interesting, and I wanted to explore this with you and what kind of items are available on here, so then we have a much better understanding of how cryptocurrency is basically creating this new stream of income for people. And the reason is because if you go back to this page and you look at the price for Decentraland today, it's $1.10. And if you go back a step and you look at this estate being sold for $500,000, that is $550,000 US for a piece of digital land that you may or may not be able to access it. And if you look at video number 2, when it comes to mana, you'll realize that I have been having a lot of issues in terms of lag, traveling around. There are some interesting things, but it seems that it is not a very populated world for now. So I think we're still early. Looking at the price, I think we are early, which is good, and now is dropping by 2% or whatnot. So it doesn't really matter. You don't need to look at the price that much if you're buying and holding. So the first question you probably have is, hey, what is an NFT? So I had the same question, so I looked up a blog article here. It has kind of a confusing explanation. Basically, NFT stands for non-fungible token. So that doesn't really help anybody. Basically, the way I understand it is that it is a mechanism that allow you to not create duplicate. So it's a one-of-a-kind trading card. So it's non-fungible. Once you make it, there's only 100 in the world, and there's only 100 in the world. So that is kind of like the idea of limited edition. It's also the same concept behind Bitcoin, where there are only so many coins and not more. And the same concept behind mana, where there are only so many manas and not more, which creates the scarcity to basically bump up the price. Because when you think about Nike and Michael Jordan shoes and Supreme, they all kind of create this exclusivity to drive up the price. That's why Michael Jordan shoes are so expensive. That's why Supreme sells t-shirts for hundreds of dollars. That's why I forgot which company it is, but they sold a brick. Yeah, so it is actually Supreme. They sold a brick, and people absolutely lost their mind for $1,000. So when you think about what kind of stuff consumers will buy, they'll literally buy a brick with the logo printed on it, and there's only so many bricks. And because of that scarcity, whether you think this is worth it, whether this is just a fad, whatever, people buy it. I think being able to create this limited edition concept is important when it comes to cryptocurrency. Now, obviously, there is that blockchain for the currency exchange, but now you can exchange digital items too. So now we have kind of, a fuzzy understanding of what NFT is. To boil it down, it's just a way for people to buy and sell digital goods that are either limited edition or is limited in some way. With that being said, we can get started. So first, we are going to go to each of the section and kind of get a feel of what is being sold there. So there are different categories here, like art, domain names, virtual worlds, trading cards, collectibles, sports, and utility. And on the left hand side, you'll also see the kind of currencies that you can use. At least that's what I think they are. ETH is Ether. So that is one of the more popular ones. I think it's the second most expensive coin, just after Bitcoin. And the one I have is Mana, which is at $1 right now. So first, if you choose art, then you can get these kind of digital art pieces that is ranging from 9.69 to 0.07 to 2.47, and these are actually priced in Ethereum, so ETH. And later on, when we're looking at some other stuff, then you can see it is being priced in a different currency. So let's say I picked this art piece. Okay, it is owned by a guy called XIMDX, and the current price is 0.0744, so that is $158 at the moment. So if I click buy, then here you can see that I can pay it already, and I can add funds to this wallet. Now obviously I don't want to get this piece of art, so I'm not going to add funds, but that's basically how easy or difficult it is to buy a digital art online. So if for some odd reason you want to buy this piece of digital art, then by all means go ahead. So there's no offer here. Okay, that kind of makes sense. Yeah, they have a little bit more description here, so we're just gonna head back out. Now the next thing you can buy is domain names. Now when I first looked at this, I thought, hey, is that like a website address? So I think for some of them it is, like Porn Central or whatever. At the same time, on the left hand side, you can see there are different categories. And since we're exploring Mana, or Decentraland in this case, then you get something called Decentraland names. So if I click on this, these are actually unique titles you can have or own in Decentraland. So if you want to call something or your piece of land Pokemon Center, you can do that now. So the bid is 0.82 Ether, which is approximately $1,700. So if you want in the game call your land Pokemon Center, now you can. So this is actually a username, so I think you call yourself Pokemon Center. So we'll see if that is exactly how it works. And the sale ends in 5 days. So that is names. So that means you can have different titles. You can call yourself Noob Master 69. You can call yourself Bank of Decentraland. So here you can actually see the logo is slightly different. This one is ETH, this one is actually mana. So if I click here, wow, being pretty is actually quite expensive. It will cost you $7,875 to be called pretty. One of the things you can do is you can actually buy this now and see if I can put it back in the market, maybe add 2,500 to it, and we'll just wait to see if someone bites it. Now I came across another Decentraland name called Google LLC, and right now a lot of corporations are actually not in Decentraland yet. They're not really in the crypto or Bitcoin game. Only Tesla is offering to buy Tesla using Bitcoin or whatnot. So I think it is still early. And if you want to secure a big company name early on, then this can actually be a potential strategy. And you'll buy the Google name for $5,000. It's actually quite expensive, and see if you can sell it to Google later on at a higher price. The next thing that really interests me is virtual worlds. You can see there's a list of different virtual worlds like the Sandbox, Decentraland, and if I click on Decentraland, which is what I'm interested in, then you can actually buy specific locations. So in this case, I was actually wondering how much it costs. And here you can see that for this piece of land is around 8,888 mana. So this is $8,000 already. And then here is 7,000 mana. So it is quite expensive. And I don't really want to blow my budget or my investment in mana onto a piece of land, even though it might then offer a higher return, because I think it is an additional layer of risk that I don't want to take at the moment. So that's what I'm going with, just holding on to the coin for now. When you think about real estate, some people try to make it more complicated and see if it is beside a specific building, like beside a casino or whatnot. So then that way you will get more traffic. And for some odd reason, some of them are priced in ETH, some of them are priced in mana, which means if you want to use mana to buy one that is ETH, I guess you got to do some sort of conversion. But when you think about the potential, maybe in a couple years from now, it is possible to sell that piece of land for 10 times the amount of mana, and if the mana is going up as well, then you can sell it for even more money. And you can actually see the change in price. They previously tried to list it for 4 times the price, 8.8, and now they're trying to sell it for 2. So whoever this guy was kind of lost money, I guess. Now the next thing is really trading cards. For this one, I didn't really understand it when I was looking at it, but I think this relates to some specific games. So for example, you can see something that looks like a Pokemon card here. And so here you can see Ether cards, founder, so on and so forth. So you can see that there are special effects you can get. Let's say I click on this one and it is being sold for $213 US. And basically you can click on the properties, then you can see what the key properties are. And levels, basically the card game, so on and so forth. So basically this is what the effect is. Put all spells in your opponent's hand on top of their deck. For each spell moved, give them a rune of sight. So the next one is really collectibles. I think these are the ones where there are only certain number of items or certain number of variations. So here you can see that this one and this one are quite similar. So I mean, once you create it and upload it, then basically it's just going to be there forever. So I guess they're not in a hurry to sell it. Yeah, but what are you going to do with it after you buy it? Art is basically valued based on the holder. So if you think it is valuable because you want this pink unicorn, then by all means, go ahead, get it for 0.45 ETH. So the next category is sports. So I guess this is where you get the sports card. And the last one is utility. What is this? Genetic store brand punk. What is this category? Is this like a story? How is this a utility? So interesting. So I guess, yeah, they make 10,000 of these little things and they try to sell it for money. Weird strategy, but okay. So this is seriously something you can just do in Paint yourself. If you just get the image and you just draw something using Paint, you can put it back up to sell it for $2,000. I don't even know if that makes sense anymore. All profits after gas and market fees from the original sale for each Millennium Cat Phase 1 token will be donated to Rainforest Trust. So what they're doing is kind of creating a campaign to raise funds for a specific cause by selling digital stuff on this NFT marketplace. So you can actually start some form of charity because it is so early. So that's basically the Opensea market as of today. And interestingly enough, you can see that there are a lot of random stuff on here. There's art, like where am I going to store it after I buy it? Domain names, which can be quite useful if you're heavily invested into the Decentraland game. Virtual world, quite useful if you are into Decentraland land as a way to invest, because the land that is 10,000 today might be 20,000 tomorrow, and also mana will be going up. And for trading card, I guess if you play that game, then it can be useful, but I don't think it's that useful. Collectibles, right now it has a bunch of weird collectibles on here. A lot of them are like 8-bit, low effort. So I don't know if anyone actually buy them. Sports, same thing as trading cards. And finally, utility, which can be either a donation to the rainforest, or it can be a weird story to churning out kind of like an image of a head and see if anyone bites. So what's interesting is actually whether anyone will buy or sell, actually more buying, of these digital goods. So I'm going to click into the activity side and see what's up. Here you can see that, wow, there are actually offers going on. And here, if I click into them, so it is a unique work. It is a cryptographic alphanumeric subliminate into a lingual arcana and repository of sacred knowledge. I used to think I'm pretty smart. After going to this marketplace, I don't even think I get it anymore. Okay, I'm going to choose sales in terms of event type and see what actually gets sold here. Hey, wow, they're actually sales, like a minute. Wow, there are actually quite a few transactions, surprisingly. So this is a card, okay, in the trading card game. So I guess there is value for these virtual trading card. Okay, so there's actually rarity to a certain extent to it. There are a lot of weird things going on here, I gotta say. So this is actually pretty smart. They're trying to advertise their pixeled bunny here. 10 owners, and there are 10 in total. So they created 10 of these. And what? They got 86 views and they got sold already. That's actually quite interesting. So this is actually $128 for 6 cents crypto ETH. So if they sold 10 of these, that is 10,000. What? This is definitely a new way to make money. It doesn't even make sense. As you can see, I don't really get it so far, but it's part of the journey to become more comfortable with cryptocurrency. So what's really surprising is that there are a lot of items on sale. So here is Smile, a pretty girl turning into an old lady. 26 owners, $30 a piece, and there's 50 in total. So it just makes you wonder, what can you possibly put on here? So I mean, if you are an artist and you're watching this, you can technically be early enough to make this work. And when you think about art, you can definitely price this at a ridiculous price because you're really targeting a small group of people. Okay, so let's look at ranking, and then after that, we'll call it a day. I think these are actually just the different kinds of collection, or in terms of platforms that are using NFT or OpenSea here. Okay, so nothing too interesting. So that is it for this video. Yeah, if you want to see more Decentraland videos and exploring cryptocurrencies, then click like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.